Don't leave them hanging. Freaking light it up. Woo! All right, and welcome. We got Corey Congilio back in the house.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
I know.
In the flesh, then.
I feel like I haven't said it in a long time because I'm editing so many courses. You did the editing on this one.
I did.
You got a good look going. It's good.
It's gotten a lot better.
You got your homebrew. Make sure you sign up for his YouTube channel too. I'll leave the links down below both of our channels. And click the bell because that's how you get notified.
That's right.
This guy's a content creating madman.
Live streaming every Thursday, all kinds of stuff.
Every Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Just dedicated.
Got a crew, man.
Dedicated for the troops.
I am not leaving their side.
Blues Army.
That's right. Yeah. All 5 of them.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I'm kidding. No, there's lots. There's great. We have great crew.
Course coming up.
Very soon.
Mm-hmm. Blues Rock Connection.
That's right. Yeah,
tying it all together.
That's right.
Like putting on the shoe. One lace is blues, one's rock.
That's true.
Together.
Oh man, and it creates this sort of. I actually wore
foundation.
I wore some amazing. Speaking of shoes, I got these old school Jordans, and they just happen to be Eddie colors. Wore them today. You know, it is. It's the only red, black, and white piece of clothing I had.
Right.
But
you got that
the greatest and the greatest and the greatest. I had to tie it together somehow.
Oh, check
the goat and the goat.
Out.
You know,
the goats shall rock.
That's right. Yeah.
All right,
the goats.
Yeah, you got some cool little tips and techniques for us that we're gonna bust out here in a second.
Man, yeah, like little 2-note chord clusters to use in your rhythm and soloing.
Cluster cussing.
Ooh, what'd you say?
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
That's what I called you.
No, it's gonna be a lot of what we're jamming on. It's gonna be that kind of stuff. The course is full of how to combine major and minor pentatonics in a couple fun solos.
Yep.
Some cool licks, some concept stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of times in courses you just get licks or you just get things to play.
Right.
I think getting into our brains a little bit.
You're going psychology on us.
Oh, we've just gotten started.
Deep diving.
Oh,
People be crying, get a box of tissues when you learn these licks. You're going deep.
It comes with a slice of leather from my couch that, my patient couch. Okay.
All right. All right, so let's get into learning some of these blues rock connections. The interesting thing too about the beginning and what you were just playing too is I think a lot of people, especially when you go to blues jams, they don't know, if they're not well versed in chords and other options. Everybody ends up playing bar chords and it sounds like this big jumbled mess. When a lot of times like the really cool guys that come to the jam can do those mini kind of chord clusters that you do and pocket it in a way where they're not stepping on what everybody's doing because like maybe there's a keyboard player and another guitar player and it's like, that's a lot of sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's been well documented that I've taught about how to play with a bass player and a keyboard player and stuff like that. But when you play with another guitar player who's holding down such a strong rock kind of thing, where do you find your space? We were just talking about that with Eddie Van Halen, how he was the only guy. Yeah. So he could, aside from, overdubbing, really could hold all of it down. Yeah. For sure. Whereas once you get into a 2-guitar band, somebody's going to be going, and then it's like, okay, well, how do I play off of that?
Yeah, for sure.
So these little things help, So would you like to see
those things?
Would you like to see them? Okay.
Like to see it? Here it goes.
Yeah. Wrote a song about it.
Okay, so G145.
Right. So let's just take the G chord first. And
you want me to play a G chord?
You can play your just G power chord.
Okay. A fiver.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of superimpose. Look at
Superman.
The 3rd and the flat 7.
Okay.
At any given time.
Yeah.
Over top.
Do you have an eye on your? With your game.
Okay. I am superimposer man.
I am poser man. All right, here we go. So.
Oh no, and they're gonna beat you up in the comments. He's poser man.
There we go. Imposer.
Oh, imposer. So what we do is it comes out of. I always teach this little shape, which is a great little G7 chord with no root. So it's going to be an F, a B, and a D. Now I've learned with YouTube videos, you got to say all these things. Okay. These are the notes, F, B, and D.
And these are the frets.
These are the frets. Third fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, right? On the 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string. Okay. I hope that's enough.
Yes, it is. It is.
I can't come and play it
tabs?
for you. Yeah, I can't come and play it for you. But here's the thing. So how about this? It's like a D chord that you move down. And I say down because down in pitch, up in direction. I've covered all of it. I say, all right, check
you out. Multi-directional.
Your tutelage has not gone to waste. You're like, look, man, they're gonna beat you up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little G7 chord there.
Okay.
It's the flat 7, which is the
That
F.
chord's called. I'm so bad with my chords. It's ridiculous.
Didn't you say you're gonna jump into my courses?
I did. I do. I've edited them. You'd think I'd be burned into my brain by now. But anyways, go ahead. So G7.
Amazing. G7. But then what I do is I take that 5th away, because the D is the 5th of G7, and the 5th is like the stepchild, like one that gets forgotten about. Any stepchildren out there, I apologize. It's just a euphemism. But you can get rid of that. If you have a 3rd and a 7th against G, it always sounds good.
Yeah.
So if you play your power chord.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
And we can use them in single note functions. Now there's another one here, which really sounds great. Because
that one sounds like it really sets you up for the change.
That's true.
Okay.
And I'll show you one.
Oh, please do.
Oh man, this is unfreaking scripted. It's amazing. We haven't been doing this in a long time, and it's like we're right back on the gosh darn horse, man. So now we have the 3rd and the 7th on top. So that's a B on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and that's an F on the 2nd string, 6th fret. Getting fast at that. Yeah. So that, and that comes out of that. That's a nice little shape too. If you wanted the root, you could put the 2nd finger on the 4th.
Show them what a G7 chord looks like.
So you could do that, and look at it. So I'm playing them already.
Yeah.
And I like to start from this weirdo G7 that all the jazzers play that I never play. But it's a good way to kind of start moving.
What's that one?
It's a G7 like this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because it has all the notes in the chord, and you can kind of move them around and make other chords with them. But those 2 notes are the same as these, just inverted.
That's cool, man.
Now watch this.
Oh. No.
Now you have your 4 chord, because that's your E and that's your B flat. So that's E on the 4th string, 2nd fret.
You should be super simplicity, man. Because that's like as simple as it gets.
This is how I play. I mean, all the time. It makes
efficiency, man.
It's
E.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. Then the B flat is your flat 7 of a C9 or a C7 type chord. And then back 1/2 step to G. But guess what? Remember this?
Yeah.
You can move that down 1/2 step, and you have a B flat and an E, because that's in a C7 chord.
Nice.
Now you just move everything up a whole step. Okay.
Dude.
So that's when you're playing over that kind of.
It's a whole cluster cuss.
Exactly. The cluster. What? What'd you call me?
What'd you call me?
So when you're learning anything, this is how I teach. If I teach a blues in a key of G, the next thing I'll do is I'll show you a key that I might go to the key of, let's say, C now, because C will have C, F, and G. And you'll already know G and C from what you previously learned in the key of G. But what I also like to do is to take all of those shapes and move them immediately up to another position.
Yeah.
So if you take what you learned for G, immediately transpose it to C and D. So here's your D.
No, that was jazz. You meant to do that. You're leading in. You're chord leading.
Yeah, love it. But so yeah, and I'm not gonna tell you those, because if I tell you, move it up, learn it, find it, get in the weeds and try to find where those chords are. That's what we all did. We had to say, well, if I play it here, what if I play it in B flat?
Back before YouTube.
That's right.
Back in NAMM.
Yeah. All right. That's where this all started.
Oh, totally.
2020 NAMM. It was the best NAMM I ever had, and it may be the last.
That's true. That's true.
But so yeah, so when you play those, you
I
can.
wasn't even talking about that name. I meant like NAMM.
Oh, you meant NAMM. Yeah.
Way back when.
That's very long time ago. So when you're playing over your G chord, and I'm going, you can kind of superimpose the 7th chord sound over that, which is obviously predominantly in blues.
Yeah.
And then you can also use it, as like a soloing vehicle too. You know, because you're.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
You can
Which kind of gets you right into mixing major and minor right off the bat.
And I have an example
chord.
in the course that
Yeah.
does all that.
No,
like I mean, believe it or not, we tie this all together.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting. Major pentatonic is always an interesting stumbling block for people because, you know, you learn all your minor licks or whatever first.
Right.
But I really got the hang of playing major pentatonic when I started playing Hendrix stuff and noticed how he moved and did all his little double stop licks. It's interesting how playing rhythm can actually really show you how to play lead in the right way. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, because you start paying attention to the chords, but then you can throw all that. You know, it's really cool when you start throwing those two sounds together because I think a lot of players just stick to playing one note.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they don't even think about doing double stop slides or anything like that.
Right.
So this kind of thing's really cool for that.
Yeah, I mean,
rhythm-wise.
it's a way to kind of, everybody always likes to put sort of this lead and rhythm thing together. So then you're at a place where
Oh,
you clean
change
it up
and
a
pick.
little.
Wait, what is the ninja switch? You pulled something up.
I did a little coil tap.
Come on, you get a little single coil action?
Oh yeah, and it is, I mean, I just did this video the other day on how PRSs really do it well. I don't know what the mojo is, because I never like coil split stuff, but it sounds pretty good.
That doesn't suck at all, man.
So, like when you're playing, you know,
Your rhythm hands, it's interesting how you play those kind of grooves.
let me watch it.
No, so you're doing it totally different now.
Am I?
Yeah, you were doing all downstrokes almost, and then would occasionally go up. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Well, I want that. It's a sound.
Yeah.
When I'm playing like more of the straight,
Yeah.
it's different than
Yeah. Well, because you get more of the scrape in there.
exactly. Yeah. It's funny. Like it turns on and off like a switch.
Because you're like all them Stevie Ray years.
All those years. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, expand.
What else would you like?
So another thing that was cool about the course is when you start, because everybody wants to know two things lately, and it's how to mix major and minor pentatonic, blues arpeggios, which is coming.
We're gonna do a lot more.
Coming down the road, down the pike, but also how to start doing chromatic runs so it doesn't just sound like, you know, because a lot of people, they just play everything right in a row and don't know how to lead into notes maybe from a fret down or that whole world. So give them some chromatic guidelines to start out with.
Well, I always try to play a minor pentatonic scale. In this case, we'll stay in G. And then I'll try to play like it's major at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So when you think about it, it's minor position 1 has the major position 2 inside of it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And the important thing is to kind of see the half step differences between them. Because you can play.
Did you slide from?
Where would you like me?
Did you slide from here to there? Is that what you did?
So the thing is at that point, the only notes you're missing are those right there. And what you have here is some opportunity to just kind of connect these notes via that chromatic.
Yeah.
But the mixing combined with the chromatic thing is really cool because think about it. So you're here with the major, and then you're here with the minor. The next pattern, you know.
Yeah.
No, if I can play it.
No, it's funny because
There it is.
You're so used to mixing that playing the one by itself.
Yeah, playing one by itself is weird. But the thing is if we're here, you can actually, you know, because you really start to kind of hear where those differences are in the half step, and then you also start to hear kind of the most sort of combined half step note is the major third.
Yeah.
And that's here.
Yeah. Well, and that's what like when I teach people how to do it, I teach people like the minor pentatonic here and then G. Just picture that chord inside of it.
Yeah.
And then when you're here in position 2, picture the major.
Right.
You're right. So then you're just, but then also combine that. One of the things that I tell people that I don't think people think about very much is always find the octave above and below what you're playing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's a great idea.
oh, well then there they are in multiple spots, you know,
Right.
because everyone's so familiar with the minor pentatonic anyways, that just putting that one note, the major third in there,
Right.
I think really starts to set people up.
Well, that's a great place to start, because then you have not only the combination of the major and minor thirds, but
Yeah.
you have instant chromatic stuff as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And then you start with the blues note, the flat 5. So then you have all that's a line right there.
Yeah.
So then, like, doing something like that, because you're going from the 5 to the sharp 5 to the 6, which is also the third of the next chord coming up lots
Yeah.
of times. So a lot of times the chromatic thing can happen as a phrasing tool
Yeah.
when you're changing chords.
Yep. Well, just like people walk down from the chords, you know, chromatically. Yeah.
You know.
So give them something slow, like a little slow.
All right.
Are there places where the pattern works, like 4 notes in a row works best to start with?
That's a spot, but I want to talk about one other thing,
Yeah. Okay.
because you have G, B flat, B, C, D flat, D.
Okay.
That's the best spot for me.
Yeah. And then you can take that up.
That's a
an octave.
really nice one too,
Ooh, that's
because you can land on the 5th of the G, you know, which can be the 9 if you're playing like a C9. So you know,
It's like Pink Panther licks. Totally.
There it is. That's it though.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Here's the thing, is that,
Is it Panther pentatonic?
ooh, that's next course.
Next chorus.
Panther. I wear like the fedora with a pipe.
Totally.
You know?
Oui,
But
oui.
the thing is that nothing's really off limits.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you resolve it.
Sure.
And as long as you attach a rhythm to it that, like, you don't want to go,
Yeah.
it's going to sound so dissonant.
Yeah.
But when you start to take some of the more, you know, progressive players and fusion players and
Yeah.
stuff, there's a reason behind every one of those chromatic notes. It could be the sharp 5, it could be
Yeah.
the flat 9, it could be the sharp 9, it could be the 13.
Yeah.
So you're hitting all of those, and the important things is how long you're staying on them.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah,
all.
you just got to let them blow by. It's like
Yeah.
a horn. You hear the like it go by really quick. And
Exactly, and it's fun. It's not something you use all the time.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff in the course that's going to allow you to kind of say, oh, I could play this over the entire blues form, and it kind of, as it goes along the way, it grabs every chord tone of
Yeah.
every chord going by.
Yep.
And it happens that way.
That'd be like elephant chromatics. So you need the Eddie clip. Have you ever seen that where he
Oh,
does
yeah.
all the harmonics? That was so
There was one.
good.
It was the vacuum cleaner.
Oh. Dude, that's when you got time on your hands. That's when you know you tour a lot.
I have to say, I learned that from Red Beach when I was about 13.
Come on, dude.
I saw him do that in a music store. It was so great. He did this clinic, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And he launched in the first tune, and he had that. I love that Ibanez. He had
Yeah.
it so cool. And he went, wow. And his string just broke.
No
and he ran around the music store
way.
grabbing a guitar, and then we were like, this is awesome.
Oh my God, that's like, he
Yeah.
was a terrifying
Oh, he's
guitar
amazing.
player.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know people that play with him in Pittsburgh still.
No
He's
way.
badass. Oh, yeah.
Some of that winger stuff. People heckle on
He
that
played
band
with
so much,
Coverdale and White
Yeah.
Snake, and yeah.
Good for him. Keeping the dream alive.
Oh, man.
Shred was never dead.
Not for him. No way, man. But
him and Doug Aldridge or whatever that guy's name is.
Right. Yeah. But we put some of that into this is a blues
Yeah.
rock course, and I have some of that in my playing. But
that one's super Gary Moore. Like there's some Gary Moore-esque kind of that.
Yeah, a lot of like
chromatic
sort of.
stuff. Yeah. That's what I really liked is the chromatic section. One of the chromatic sections of the course is very rock.
Right.
You know, it's not a blues shuffle. It's like hardcore rock.
Well, it's one of
and
those things
roll
I was like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
And if you want to come follow me on the journey,
Yeah,
let's
totally.
do it.
Yeah,
you know, because it's all goes back. I couldn't play it without having learned blues.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it makes you, you know, the great thing about that too is it really makes you pay attention to the bending aspect of playing. You know, a lot of these players that we like, you get caught up, you know, and their fingers move really fast, but like an Eddie or any like a Warren DeMartini or any of these ripping blues rock guitar players,
Right.
they still have incredible bends, which all is coming from the blues. You
Well,
know?
just think about all the time you hear Eddie go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have really solid hands
Yeah.
and a good sense of pitch
Yeah.
to pull that off effectively. I mean, he did that in so many solos, and
Yeah.
I would never get tired of it. That's
No,
for sure.
that's a crowd pleaser.
Oh my gosh,
Chuck
yeah.
Berry on steroids.
It's Chuck Berry on steroids.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Love it.
So check out what'd you title it? You came up with a nice title.
Blues Rock Connection.
Tying it all together.
That's right.
Whoosh. Okay, so we're gonna leave links to that below. And then also there will be, if you don't have volume 1, which is awesome, that course has been amazing.
Been
here at the
really
site.
fun.
We'll leave something where you can bundle them up together because volume 2
Right.
is in the works.
We're working on it. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Dude, how do you?
I just keep going
That's
back
why
to the
gray
Rolodex.
hairs keep coming in.
Go roll. Go into the Rolodex.
24/7.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, man.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Catch you next time.